RPGs have been one of the most popular genres in all of gaming, and 2017 will bring a lot more highly anticipated titles. In this video, we're going to be going over 10 of the biggest RPGs releasing in the rest of the year in no particular order, and I have to mention that we decided to leave Mass Effect Andromeda off this video since as of this recording, it'll be releasing in just a few days. Obviously, that's a title I'm sure the majority of you are very much looking forward to, but with that being said, let's get right into this. The Surge. The Surge is a science fiction action RPG being developed by Deck 13, not the most well-known studio in the world, but those are the guys that made Lords of the Fallen, a very good Dark Souls-like game, and Surge follows in those footsteps. It's described as a Souls-style, super challenging third-person melee game, but through the lens of a sci-fi setting. If Deck 13 can build upon what they did in Lords of the Fallen, this has potential to be something great. The game is set to release in May for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Aren't all that dangerous by themselves. Their gas canisters will deal damage while you're in the radius, but with the fire guys, they're quite dangerous. So the gas there is flammable, and it'll explode if a flamethrower touches it. And so the way to deal with this, as you can see, is to split them apart a little bit. So Torsten is using the concussive module on his drone to knock these guys away from each other, give himself a little room to work. The explosions will hurt the enemies as well.
Dauntless. Dauntless is a free-to-play action RPG that's set in a fantasy world where a cataclysmic event has torn the world apart, causing dinosaurs to prey on the humans that are left. You play as slayers that take down behemoths while collecting loot. Sounds familiar? It's a lot like Monster Hunter. Visually, it looks really good, and the fact that it's free-to-play will lend itself at least worth a play. Dauntless releases Q4 2017 for PC. Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. Mount & Blade has been one of the prominent series on PC, and we've been waiting for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord for a while now, and it looks like it'll finally be released in 2017. The game is raising the bar in every area for the franchise, from detail, visuals, gameplay. It's a much more fleshed out experience. The footage we've seen thus far has looked exceptional. We just hope it comes sooner rather than later. Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age. Final Fantasy XII was one of the divisive games in the franchise. Some loved it, others not so much. Personally, I really enjoyed it. The gameplay was great, the world was expansive, and there was an enormous amount of content. The story was engaging even if the main character wasn't really the main character. Now it's coming remastered to the PlayStation 4, and if you've never played FF12, definitely give it a shot. It releases on July 11th. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance is an open-world RPG set in the medieval kingdom of Bohemia. Technically, it's very impressive, running on the CryEngine 3, and there's a lot of emphasis on the detail to the game with music that pertains to the time period, and a lot of effort put towards the aesthetic. The gameplay we've seen thus far has been promising, a little rough around the edges, but that's to be expected. Hopefully by the end of development, it turns out to be a quality RPG and releases sometime later in the year for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Xenoblade Chronicles and Chronicles X were two of the best JRPGs in recent years, and now we have the Nintendo Switch entry Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It'll be an open world game, and while it is a sequel to Chronicles, it'll star a new character. Something that may turn some people off is the more anime chibi art style rather than the realistic art style in the previous games. Personally, I'm not a big fan, but the game is still being developed by the talented guys over at Monolith Soft, so I expect something of quality when the game releases this year. South Park: The Fractured But Whole. South Park: The Stick of Truth was one of the shockingly great games of last generation. A South Park game with traditional RPG mechanics. Few thought it would be great, but that's exactly what it was. And now we have South Park: The Fractured But Whole, which will follow a similar style to the previous game but has superhero thematics. It features 12 different hero classes to play from. Whether you're a fan of South Park or not, there's a lot of fun to be had. We still don't have an exact release date, but it'll come this year for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
I guess you have farts that stop time or something? Nice.
I'm going to destroy this town. No, minions, you gotta kill him. Ah, dang it.
You ready? Sorry guys, you can't play with us. We're playing superheroes now, and you guys are...
Divinity Original Sin 2. The first Divinity Original Sin was a great old school RPG. It didn't hold your hand much, but once you get going, the game was very rewarding and it had a ton of content. This year we'll bring the sequel, Divinity Original Sin 2, which will feature more content, multiplayer, everything you'd expect out of a quality sequel. The game is already available in early access on Steam, but will be having a full release later this year on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
It's still very much work in progress and lots of things will change, but it's already sufficient to demonstrate a couple of the key things that we're building the game around. The party consists of a wood elf, 2 humans and an imperial dwarf. We are escaped sorcerers, users of a forbidden form of magic, and we're on the run from divine magisters. We're looking for help to travel to the mainland and are trying to enter a village where we'll hope we'll be able to get a ride on a dragon. Getting into the village, however, turns out to be problematic because of some local unrest with the dwarves. My main character hails from this town and is recognized by the guard. This facilitates...
Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. Ni no Kuni was a fantastic RPG released on the PlayStation 3. It had a great Studio Ghibli art style, an engaging story and characters, well-designed gameplay, and now we have a long overdue sequel in Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. What we've seen thus far has looked outstanding. The design is on point once again. The story revolves around a former king that's looking to take back his kingdom. It's got a lot of potential, and hopefully level 5 delivers when the game is released this year for PS4 and PC. Finally, Persona 5. Persona has been one of the great JRPG franchises, but for a long time it was very under the radar. However, recently it seems like there has been a lot of attention put on Persona 5, which is the first Persona game in nearly 9 years. Maybe that long absence helped, who knows. What I do know is that Persona 5 is shaping up to be one of the best Japanese RPGs in recent memory. For those of you that don't know what the game entails, one part of it is a dungeon crawling JRPG. The other pits you in the shoes of a high school student attending class, socializing, joining clubs, etc. It sounds kind of ridiculous on the surface, but it blends these two distinct gameplay elements really well, and it keeps the game from being repetitive, and considering these games can go for as long as 100 hours, it comes April 14th to the PS4 and PS3.
What's the answer?
Come to me!
What the hell? I'll come get some!
We can do this if we all work together! I'd rather that than be bad at every subject.
It's not just Japan anymore. The whole world's waiting to see the Phantom Thieves' next move.
So that wraps up 10 awesome RPGs releasing in the rest of 2017. What do you think? Which RPGs are you the most excited for? Comment your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.